Hey, what's up, you guys? Bloody Jacob here to bring you my weekly review of the CW's The Originals. This week we've seen Season 3, Episode 9, the mid-season finale, entitled Savior. And, wow, this was an amazing episode. Good episode all around, but what really put over the top, I'll just wait till I actually get to talking about it, but, fuck it. Excuse my language, but I'll just say it. Klaus and Camille. But, again, I'm acting like a fangirl. You should have seen my reaction when it actually happened. But, again, we'll talk more about that once we get to that in the review in my notes. As you can see, I did write notes again for this, just like with TVD. Except this actually had notes on the back of it as well. Alright, so... Of course, we have Rebekah. We have Claire Holt back, which is always good to see. Because even though the girl, Eva St. Clair or whoever did a good job, playing Rebekah in another body, of course, with the characters there, I want her to be in her original and regular form. So it was good to have Claire Holt back in this episode, or any episode. Of course, Elijah retrieves her body, kills some guys who are planning to make off with whatever was inside. And Rebekah says, "Tell me I didn't miss Christmas." So this episode also had a Christmas theme going on with it, just like the TVD episode tonight, which I of course like. I like the different setting and theme, not setting, but like a like a more winter-esque environment and the theme and stuff like that. So I really liked all that. Even though there wasn't like a bunch of snow in this one in particular, still I like the holiday setting and seeing these characters in that kind of environment, these dark, serious, tortured characters in that kind of atmosphere. It's really cute and funny. As I just said a billion times. Hair in my mouth. Anyway. Yeah, Klaus and Cami, we see them drinking together, and, Klaus he compelled a girl, who he doesn't say has to, hold back anything she says, but compel her to decorate the whole, place and stuff like that. So that was good. I'm just really trying to hold back on going ballistic over the Klaus and Cami thing at the end of the episode when I get there. This may be a little bit faster than my Vampire Diaries review, that's just because I'm excited to talk about the ending. Which has actually kind of ended up being kind of tragic and sad, but I'm so excited because I know it's going to come back. But anyway, she's going to come back. But anyway, I'm getting ahead of myself. I'm losing focus. I'm losing it, man. And of course, Cami leaves because she wants to help out Kinney, who's just in a complete hole in his life. The detective, ever since Lucian had, compelled him to not do anything right, just think so lowly of himself and things like that. Which is really a huge douche move, obviously. Of course, Jackson is upset with Haley again for, associating too much with the Mikaelsons and caring too much about what's going on in their lives and what they do, despite all the stuff they've done to her and all the wrong they put her through and, had her go through because of being associated with them, which was understandable, but I like Jackson. He's a likable guy, but to me, he's kind of like the Matt of the originals, I think I said that before, but, you like him, but he's one of the more underdeveloped and less interesting characters on the show. But, yeah, he's not quite as blah as Matt yet, but we'll see where it goes. I still do like Matt, though, but they just haven't done anything with this character on Vampire Diaries. Let's see. Rebekah seems to have a mark, on her forearm, and, it's making her more aggressive, violent, and angry. It's bringing out some of her worst feelings towards things. Just like her also telling Elijah, about Klaus. You ever just want to rip out his heart and see how long it takes for it to grow back? So it's really weird to see her acting like that. She's acted like vicious before, but not towards her own family exactly like that, Freya's attacked, these group of guys take the medallion, or they try to at least, until Jackson actually shows up and ironically helps out a Mikaelson. He uses an axe, which is pretty cool. He got him to decapitate a couple guys with it, which I do say is pretty awesome. And he does help out Freya and brings her back to the Mikaelsons. So yeah, Jackson is barely mad at this point. Let's see. Alright. As Cami goes up to Kinney's house, Klaus actually joins her. Cami thinks it's, just to watch over her and protect her, and be her bodyguard or something, but Klaus says he's joining her as a friend, because, he actually does legitimately care about her in that way, too. Which I genuinely believe. Klaus is developed so well, that's why he's my favorite character in this whole Vampire Diaries Originals world, Klaus Mikaelsson, man. God. Okay, I gotta hold that for a little bit longer. Marcel's few scenes with Vincent, which, weren't bad, but they're definitely, the lower points of the episode, just like the less fangirling out things and stuff like that. But they're fine, both, good back and forth with each other, as Vincent's going to be becoming regent and things like that. We haven't seen Davina in a while, which I've been perfectly fine with. Let's see. Yeah, Klaus, man. He just had a great scene with helping out Kinney, trying to get in his head. That sounds bad, but he really, psychologically was able to help him back up from this point he was at, even though he was compelled. And then Klaus proceeds to use his own more powerful compulsion in order to sort of bring Kinney to a sort of middle ground, to sort of, balance him out. He can't completely take out what's been done, but he can sort of have him make peace with it in his mind, which I thought was really nice and really well written, actually. And, of course, it was good to see Cami is looking at Klaus as he did such a genuinely nice thing for someone he doesn't really give a shit about, Klaus has come a long way. Even though he is doing this for Cami, but still. Let's see. You're losing track of my place in my notes. And, with what Rebekah's going through, it turns out she may become a unquenchable, vicious ripper. It just won't stop going for it. That sounds weird. If this process keeps on going further. And it turns out Freya was actually stabbed with something and poisoned. So she's slowly becoming weaker and weaker. And we break it up with another really touching and nice scene between Cami and Klaus. Cami thinking Klaus for helping Kinney. Klaus sort of brushing it off, and Cami telling him it wasn't nothing, and she sort of holds his face, which is really cute. And then we see that more aggressive side that's coming through with Rebekah, because of that mark that's on her and things like that. She really just lets loose on Haley verbally, saying, how selfish Haley actually is. She hates the Mikaelsons so much, supposedly, and Klaus, but yet she'll use them when she needs something, or she'll come to them when she genuinely needs help and things like that. Which, is meant to be an aggressive side of Rebekah that she doesn't necessarily mean and true, but really I do think in a way it's right. She basically just said what a lot of us feel when we're annoyed with Haley. Just really hypocritical and things like that. But I don't hate Haley, but yeah, that's kind of on the point. Evil, aggressive Rebekah. Of course, Rebekah and Haley end up fighting. Rebekah usually besting her, which I was happy about, as she should, really. Surprisingly, though, Rebekah also, takes care of Elijah, or temporarily knocks him off and things like that. Klaus manages to show up, and Rebekah says Cami will be toxic to this family and to Klaus, just like everyone else that's coming into their lives and that's been brought into it. And Klaus and Elijah kept together, managed to hold Rebekah down. It was good to see Klaus be able to best Rebekah on his own, though, too. But Klaus and Elijah together hold Rebekah down. And Freya is able to, literally cut that mark off, which you actually seen the skin get cut off, which is pretty brutal, but pretty awesome at the same time. Jackson, he actually comes around a little bit in this episode as he protected Freya, but also he tells Haley how he actually respects, how fiercely the Mikaelsons protect one another, which I liked him saying, and that for Haley's now willing to deal with them a little bit more, and he better not just come back and say, oh yeah, I don't want anything to do with them, I want you to do anything with them or help them out, but really I like that Jackson's becoming a little bit more at ease with the Mikaelson association with Haley. Let's see. And Rebekah's thinking she has to leave, because of this whole prophecy thing that's being built up and built up. One member's supposed to fall by family. But I did like the moment Klaus and Elijah shared with her, over that fire. As Rebekah held both her hands saying we had this moment, so it reminds you of all those Always and Forever scenes I had in the flashbacks, so that was really cool. Let's see, only a few more notes, don't worry. Of course, Rebekah and Klaus actually share the most emotional normal goodbye until a little bit later on. Klaus sort of jokes around about her finding another guy, to sort of like lose herself over. And Rebekah says she'll run from love, but only if Klaus runs towards it. And she looks at Cami, and the Klaus and Cami sort of share a look, which is really cute. We're getting close. Fran and Elijah, share a nice bonding scene together as well. And really, I'm going to talk about things that took place after the whole Klaus and Cami thing, so I can just focus on the Klaus and Cami thing at the end. So besides that, we see Tristan threaten Vincent, so he knows something's going to be going on with that once the season comes back. At the end of January. And the mark reappears on Rebekah. Rebekah calls Elijah because she almost, just killed the taxi driver. And, she has Elijah dagger her, but not to tell Klaus about it because she wants Klaus to be happy, just this once for a while. And then, of course, Klaus and Cami share a great experience together. Just really, Joseph Morgan and Leah Pipes just have really good chemistry as actors together. And the characters, they've been built up so well together. And the writing is really great in the scene. I can't do it justice by repeating any of the words, but it's really well done. And they finally kiss, and I just freaked out like a fangirl. Holy shit, man. I giggled. I don't know what I did. I freaked out. I was clapping. I was literally clapping. Just an amazing scene. A really nice payoff, and I really hope it lasts. What's the long-term plan after all this? But we'll see where it develops and things like that. And it was really nice to see them, cuddling in bed together. I'm not sure if they actually, had sex or anything like that. But if they did, that's cool. But if they just laid together and fell asleep, that's really touching as well. But they're kind of, all this is how I feel about you for sure now. So yeah, it's really nice to finally get just have that finally happening. I think it's amazing. Really nice scene, really great scene. Well, unfortunately, it does end with Klaus waking up and finding Cami with her neck sliced. So yeah, that's bad. It was hard for me not to keep smiling though after that scene. But I did say what a few times at the screen. I don't think Cami's gonna be dead forever though. I think Klaus is gonna find a way to bring her back somehow or heal her. I don't know. It's probably too late to heal her, but no, I'm not sure if. Obviously, Aurora had a hand in this happening, as we see her and Tristan at the end. But did she make Klaus do it somehow, or did she have Cami do it to herself? I think she had Cami do it to herself, because I don't think she could manipulate Klaus like that. Klaus is too powerful. So I think she probably made Cami cut her own throat. But yeah, I'm eager to see how they bring Cami back. They better, and I'm pretty sure they will. They will. But yeah, overall, a great mid-season finale. Best episode of the season, my favorite by far. The original is just head and shoulders above the Vampire Diaries right now, let's say. Just much more compelling and interesting characters, more interesting general story going on. Still love TBD, but Originals is just rising above it each and every time lately. Not just lately, since season 1 of Originals, really, and the recent seasons of TBD. But yeah, still enjoy both shows, and it's going to be really rough waiting over a month to see the continuation of both of the seasons, but I will come back for my weekly reviews when it does come back on January 29th on Fridays now. I swear if they cancel either of these shows, I'm just, ugh. But let's not talk about that right now. They'll both be fine, and amazing episode, Klaus and Cami, man. And yeah, Klaus is just such an amazing lead. I absolutely love the character. Definitely one of my favorite leads of all time, no question about it. right up there with Aiden from being human. Him and Aiden are probably two of my favorite leads. Then you have Vanessa from Penny Dreadful and things like that. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed the episode. Hope you guys enjoyed this review. Add me on Facebook, follow me on Twitter, Movie Pilot, and look for AnspoiledDead.com. I'll catch you guys next time, and peace. Yes.